even our CBD, it's happening. Unongonzi, mire papo, see a number. You know, it's not nice for me.
Thank you for the contribution, because my next question was, these girls were painting the picture of Epworth. I was going to ask if it's common around Zimbabwe. And then she then answered for me that it's not limited to Epworth, but everywhere, by virtue of being a woman, by virtue of being a girl, who are exposed to this kind of violence. What do others think? Even our performers, our young girls, you can also contribute in any language you feel you're comfortable in, be it Shona, Ndebele, whatever language you speak in.
I think it's really a big problem, because I think the worst part is that vanokudza kuti see a number or whatever, and you're now scared. Kuti, what will happen to me if I don't listen, or what will happen to me if I don't agree to what they want? So I think that's the worst thing, is that we aren't safe and we're very vulnerable, because now ukufamba wega, you don't know kuti, what will these people do to you, what might happen to you if you don't agree. So then you're just forced to play nice or to agree just for the sake of trying to maintain your safety.
Okay. So who was the perpetrator who was being portrayed, both in the play and the screening? Who was the perpetrator? Who are they? Who are they? We all said, yes, it's happening. Yes, we can relate. So who are they? Who's doing this to us as women? Yes.
Okay, mostly zvinowanzoitika kumawindi oro pane vakomana ve vanenge vakagara pamabridge, vanenge vakagara vakadhakwa vakaita sei, vakangona munhu anenge achipfuura vanotanga kumuharasa vachimuita sei, and then papo panzvimbo pane pachitozivikanwa kuti ndiye pavo. Saka iwewo kutoti upapfuure, you should agree zvavanenge vachitaura, kana usingade wotochinja road.
Okay. So what you're saying, I think it was portrayed by a young lady who was told, sit down. At times, we actually do what they want for fear of what they'll do to us if we don't comply. You also had a hand up, ma'am.
Okay, I also noticed that during the video, there was a girl who said, Iwo vaskana vacho vanonyanyawo. And for me, I just thought, Kuti, sometimes as women, when we found ourselves in such a situation, we don't support each other when we reach out to each other. Like what this lady did, right? That lady, I ended up Batsire, and the lady was actually fighting to the men, Kuti, no, musie. But most women, Murod, actually, they don't do it. You know, they'll be like, no, so sometimes, you know, you tend to follow what these windy are saying because you don't have anyone who is supporting you. Vakadzi vanotokusiya, which is, iwe, kaure, and vanotosia sometimes vanotoseka, and that's one of the things that we are facing as well.
She raises a point around lack of support for victims. Isn't, when you're facing this kind of violence, you're actually a victim of violence. I want to ask what we think. Is there a scenario where we can actually justify what was happening here? Can we justify it in any way? That this happened maybe because of this. Can we justify it and say, because of this? Can we justify what was happening here? Is there a case where we can justify? The words, we want to hear the words, not to say the, yes, Tari.
Hi guys. No, there's no justification for what happens to a woman, sexual harassment, rape, gender-based violence, all of that. There's no justification. It happens because of the perpetrator. It has nothing to do with the woman or the girl. And the issues should be dealt directly with only the perpetrator and the harasser, if that's a word. Thank you.
You made it a word. What do others think? What do we think? Yes, Fads.
Okay. Okay, I was thinking of something else. My issue is that I think we have lost confidence on the reporting system when it comes to cases, when it comes to issues of sexual harassment. Because the moment that you go to Mapurisa, it's back and forth. And because of that, we end up not even reporting. So the issue is that we have lost confidence. Kumapurisa, that we are supposed to get help because they don't even deal with the issues that we report there, especially cases of sexual harassment.
Okay. You want to, yeah.
Hello, I think in relation to that, I was also a victim of sexual harassment kublawayo paring. And mapurisa angatori paside, vainyora ticket rebus pa bus rarakamira. But then mawindi aitotidonzera mabag vakatotibuditsira banga, but the police didn't even do anything. So we find that as women, it's not easy for us to have confidence in police because they are there when it happens, but they don't do anything to help us or to support us. So at the end, nongo safa, and there's no one really who is there to help us.
Thank you. I think what they're saying has been the experience of most girls who have faced violence, that they try to seek the service. And at times, I don't know, does anyone know of an instance where a person actually reported a case of violence and they were supported? Does anyone know? You don't know. But then you wanted to say something. There's the mic.
Thank you very much. My name is Sitana Mwali and I'm from Kenya. And first of all, I want to thank the young ladies for such a great performance. You guys were really, really interesting. And you know, this is a problem that is also very common in my country. I mean, I think it's a global problem, and so it's really interesting to see the similarities. And we're also having, you know, it's impossible to get help. Right now, there's a case in Kenya where a professor was molested, and several other women. And then they took this guy to court, and then they lost, and then he's now forcing them to pay the equivalent of about $90,000 for defamation, and the court supported him. So the system can be very, very much against us, and we need to, they haven't stopped, they're doing more things, but we need to figure out how do we support each other. I remember when I was at university, one of my professors harassed me, and what we then did as female students, first of all, I went and told everybody, so that everybody knew what he had done, and then we came up with a plan that we would never go to talk to him by yourself. You always went at least with two other, in groups of two, and then he heard about what we had that I had told everybody, and he had to address it. But the fact is that he was shamed. And we knew, and he knew that we knew. So there are ways in which, when it happens to you in public, there's very little you can do, because your police is not, it's similar to in our country. You know, they are just going to joke. But if it happens in an institution, there are ways in which you can support each other. And I think that's one of the things that you said. We need to figure out, how do we support each other so that we're not just victims. If it's in a school, if the administration is not going to listen to you, and usually they will not, how do you, as girls, come together and support each other and protect each other? Yeah.
Thank you so much for challenging us. And I also feel that at times it's not really about mobilizing. It's not limited to mobilizing. But then as a young woman yourself, as a woman yourself, if you see it happening, what do you do? Are you the one who walks away and, you know, just think this is none of my business? Are you the one who thinks, maybe the way she's dressed, she deserves it? Which one are you? Are you the one who then speaks out, or just try at least help that person? So she spoke about that, and I want to ask, I think those two raised a concern around our police and the failure for them to support us. What do we think, what do we want the police to do? And maybe let me ask first, looking at the law, What is the law saying? I know one of the widows saying, "Ndiudze kuti pamutemo zvakanyorwa kuti papi kuti nisawinda ndifane kukubata ndithi." One of them raised something around the law. What is the law saying? Is something being said around sexual harassment in public spaces? Do we know anything? The law? We don't know our law. How do we then how can we be safe if we don't know what the law is saying or what the law is not saying? Does anyone know? The words have run out. Baskan, tinoziva kuti mutemo iri kuti chii? Tozviziva? Ko tinoziva marights edu here isusu? Tomaziva? Marights edu anoti chii? Zvichienderana nezvangashitika izvi. And I think two of the spaces they identified as areas where they are prone to violence. Right now we're having water challenges in many areas where you find that because of gender roles, most girls and most women are the ones who go and fetch water. And at the bore, they say they're facing this violence. They also identified, is it the taxi rank? Yeah, kunema winter and it. Saka marights edu anoti chii? Talk to me, girls. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will proudly say as a man, but I still am a feminist. It's a very interesting subject we're talking about today. And I like that the main focus about today is centered around the girl child who is still, I would want to believe, a minor. This is a school-going child, and it. Tataura nyakuti women and women support. And I will only pinpoint on one particular incident that was in the clip and probably highlighted slightly in the play, where a woman who's there, they see these children, vanoya every day, same sport, but the child is saying, no, I'm waiting for my kombi. And you mentioned and you speak of rights. And this girl is saying, I've got the right to board a kombi that of my choice, which is the very same kombi where she is being. So what then can be done about that is my question. Thank you.
You posed the question to us. Anyone is free to answer. Because I think we have been having a lot of conversations around our experiences as women. And I think our coming together today was to maybe agree that, yes, this is what we're facing, and maybe think of ways what can be done to make the spaces, the public spaces, safe for us as women. We want to tell them, those who are listening, that this is what we want. So the question is, any question raised is up for anyone to answer.
Thank you. So I just wanted to go back to the question where you asked, what does the law say? So within the code, I think we do have provisions around indecent assault. However, the challenge, of course, will be to get witnesses who would come, because everybody quickly wants to move to their business. So if you go and make a report to the police, obviously the police are going to say, can you please have witnesses who can tell me, who can actually testify that they witnessed this happening. So which goes back again to the bystanders, what responsibility are bystanders also playing in this whole, violence against women in public spaces. And then coming to your question around this girl child who now finds themselves preferring a certain kombi because they are getting certain benefits. I think we need to take a very holistic look at this, because sometimes we can easily hide behind rights, and yet we are actually not realizing there is exploitation that is happening, and we need to understand what drives people to be exploited. Sometimes even a lack of awareness, a lack of knowledge, a deprivation can lead someone to become a victim of exploitation. And when you are looking at it from another angle, it can look like it's a choice. But does this person actually have a choice? So I want to go back to that Gogo who said in the video. We need to give enough money. We need to adequately support these children And I think for me, it's not about providing just money for transport. If you look at other research, it's telling us that young people are having sex for airtime. They are having sex for, luxury, little luxury things. So I think as a society, we need to start going beyond what we mean when we say we are providing, right? Because if I can see somebody with a cell phone and I don't have a cell phone, it means that I now need a level of empowerment that helps me to realize that I'm no less better than this one who has a cell phone. So do we have that conscientization amongst our young people within the schools, or we are just leaving these kids to try and figure it out on their own? And then for them, that's how they are figuring it out. So I want to really think that empowerment is required, and that empowerment is not an event. It's actually a process that we need to start off with our girls from a very young age, so that they grow up confident and self-content with their own circumstances, and they can pick up better coping mechanisms, as they live in a world where we are never all going to have the same things at the same time.
Thank you for that. Did everyone know that there is somewhere in the law where it's said that indecent assault is a criminal offense? Do we or no? But then again, she raised an issue around maybe she knows we are mutemo, and mutemo is there, is clear, but then it speaks to witnesses. I remember one of a friend of mine was harassed in a kombi, and side park. When she reported the case, and mapurisa chagama witness, no witness never and mango kwira kombi, murkwenda ku town mese. Do you even know the people who you bought the kombi with? So there are those gaps. The law might be there to protect us, but then there's two existing gaps. They limit access at the justice, and because my perpetrator, they get away with it. My bridge and so on, my window. Because my limitations to my gaps within our law. Seek the adequate justice services they deserve. What else do we feel should be done for us to feel safe? What should be done?
Right, I was saying we will find that most of the times the perpetrators will be under the influence of drugs. But we find that our police are so reluctant to find out where these drugs are coming from so that they can stop it. If you look at it, those Mawindi, some of them will be even smoking pamakombi papap, but nothing is done to them. So I think, yes, the law is there, but something has to be done in as far as enforcement is concerned.
The women, the words they're speaking, we are holding the justice service accountable. The law is there, but then when it comes to implementation, it's not really being implemented. That's what they're saying. The words from the women. Yes. Do you have the mic? She wanted to say something. Oh, it's now you. Yeah, you can
okay. Go. I was going to go. Okay. So first of all, I think better ways of, a legal system that doesn't put the onus on the woman. And, for example, if it is the minibuses that you're talking about, the company, I'm sure there are companies that run them or own them. Couldn't it be that the companies, that the number of reports against that company, the specific company that runs out mini, they're called what? Combis. You call them what? Combis. If we're making reports, can't we make reports on the combi, which then gives the onus on the owners and to manage their crew and to manage what goes on in that, instead of me having to go and look for witnesses from people I don't know. Yeah. I think the other thing is, we've been having this conversation for many years. Certainly since my girlhood, when I was a young woman. And why isn't it that, why can't we have the conversation? Why can't men have conversations about how they must stop attacking women? Why can't we have those conversations? Do those conversations I don't think they happen. So we the victims are constantly having this conversation, and then the men are just free to just do whatever they want. And how do you, if you are the zebra, how do you have conversations about how the lion must not eat you? And then the lion is just sitting there knowing that it's going to eat you, and in whatever way. So I think we need to have a shift. We cannot have this conversation for the next 50 years, surely. We need to have a shift where the men are sitting down saying, actually, why do we do this? Why can't we stop this? And turn around the responsibility to the people who have the power to stop, because we cannot have that power. I mean, and even now, you know, like on the internet is another place where things are no longer, where you're not safe. So the insecurity is just spreading and growing and growing and growing, and then we talk, and then the guys just continue. Let them have the conversations about what they're going to do to stop creating our lives and making them insecure.
Okay, I was also about to say that, but I would like to agree with the second last speaker when she talked about lack of awareness. I think girls need to be, even boys, they need to be taught about these things even at an earlier age. Because, for example, I have my little sister, she's grade 1, and usually I kiss her whenever she comes back from school. But this other day, they were taught, you know, and when I wanted to kiss her, she said, no. At school, we're taught that we don't kiss people. So already she's being socialized in such a way. So I think, I don't know if it's the government or the Ministry of Education, kids need to be taught about the Sexual Violence Act even at a later stage. You know, sometimes it's also not a act university, but maybe we're being sexually harassed singatombozie. And also on her note, I think we should be able to negotiate spaces with all these men, because we don't live in isolation with our environment. No matter how much we cry, no matter how much we talk, you know, they are gonna be there and they are always there. So we need to maybe find macro strategies on which we engage them into a gender dialogue. We talk about it together so that we know that at least I'm safe, ndiri paside pa John or ndiri paside pa Peter, because Kubasa is gonna be there, Kuchkoro is gonna be there, Church is gonna be there, Mukombi Macho is gonna be there. So no matter how much we talk, in these four corners of this building, still magras, because that Peter is not there.
Thank you for agreeing with each other. And I also feel that in as much as I agree that there also should be spaces to engage men around what they do, right? It's also key for us to have these conversations as women. Because one of the points of having these conversations is for those who actually don't know, how do you claim a right which you don't know it exists? Like, these are spaces where we can actually tell each other, as women, kuti madzimai, you know kuti muna akakubata ndiwindi akakubata pa akubata violence, and the law is clear about that. So it's also important to us to have these conversations, these spaces which are exclusively for women are also important, because that's where we get to also inform each other about things that we don't know. We can also come up with ways which we feel can better make us feel safe, right? And then at the same time, the men should also be held accountable for their actions. They should know that if this and this happens, the penalty is this. So thank you so much for raising that. And others whose words we haven't heard yet. She has been raising her hand for a long time now.
Okay, I want to go back. Kuna mama veva ngawachiti mwana anenge akamirira kombi, anenge akamirira kombi wani mpaka ya mama kombi akwire. So on that note, kumawinda achoka vazhinji vacho ndo vari kuharasa vanhu vavana especially vasikana ndo vari kuvaharasa but hatingati vese havazi vese vanoharasa pane vashoma it's 1 in a million pavari pamawindi ipapo so iye kuti anokwira mukombi iye yaanenge achizoti ndakapinda ndinoharaswa ndotukwa I'm supposed to do zvaanenge andibvunzaka she decides kuti amirire kune that one yekuti nyange wakakwira aite sei haharaswe so ndo zvandida kutaura on that note kuti hakusi kuti anenge achida nemunhu arimomo one kazhinji kacho but anenge achizoti ndakakwira this kombi andiharaswe ndinotongopinda mumukombi then kana ndasvika on my destination ndotongodzuruka no hapana kuharaswa hapana kuitwa sei.
All right. Thank you. There's a hand. Then Kudzi, you cannot walk out without saying anything. It's unfortunate for those whose names I know. I will point it to you because we want to hear your words. Someone at the end.
So I have been looking up my strategies that women can use to protect themselves from violence. Whilst, of course, we do realize that we should place violence, the responsibility for violence where it belongs, and that is with the perpetrator. I think Kunemang countries, they've tried martial arts, because with martial arts, you're able to actually, on the spot, prevent, block or protect yourself. And this here in Zimbabwe, it has been done extensively, but it might be something worth trying. Because Nanchi Funga, looking at that video, imagine if, a tout was to start saying, hey, move, so, I don't know what response it might get, but I'm thinking it might help. Also, even Wakatari Sama tout Sachona, it's a reflection of the levels of unemployment. Sarah, what kind of activities are local authorities doing to get the young people, maybe Kutama sports, who offer some of these sports like even martial arts, because they also help with discipline and focusing the mind. Because like we saw, Panama issues a substance abuse. So in as much as we might want to say, okay, Takwim Power Mskana, Oita martial arts and all, but what are we also doing with this perpetrator? Of course, we don't have to turn a blind eye to protecting the victim, but my sports, I think, help. And maybe we should start looking at my local authorities, edu, kutiva isema programs, and obatsiro to occupy these young people who are going into substance abuse.
Thank you so much. Here the hand. Hey.
Actually, I was also a victim of sexual harassment. Ndiri ku high school. Taenda tiri tune my friend kumakombi. Saka my friend anga in a very big bus. Tiya yekuti it's very big. So every day, vaititi uyaivanzi, sisi vane dairy board, sisi vane dairy board. Indo vananzi, sister vane garo, sister vane garo. Every day takusvika kukwira makombi kusvika ndati kune shamwari yangu iwo nhasi ukanzi une mazamu unotoyawo imwe mukaka ini vakanditi ndine magaro ndotoyawo bati from there vakabva vatoti aiwa musavadaro masista vanozvimirira vanozvirwira because law yacho haisi kukurwira saka fight for yourself muudza kuti ndine magaro ndangu so what kana uchida uya undibati because ukaenda kumapurisa they are not even doing anything saka I think sometimes stand for yourself wotongovaudza kuti musandibate musandiite so then vanobva varegedza but also we are also crying with the law kuti they should do something about those things because imagine mwana angori muform 4 angori mu-A level sometimes unenge usina courage to fight for yourself because those guys vanenge vamwa musombodheya yavo vanenge vakadhakwa saka already vanenge vachitoita sei vanenge vachitotyisa saka if they could put mapurisa maybe especially panoenda vana vechikoro maybe that could help and then voisa law yekuti kana mupurisa wacho asina kukubatsira go somewhere utoenda nezita remupurisa yekuti this guy and I reported my case but he didn't do anything. I think it would also help. Thank you.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about what she's saying, kuti confidence. I think confidence is key sometimes because I really feel like they're killing our confidence and they know it and they take advantage of it. Because sometimes you wake up at home, then you think, I want to go get into town. Then I'm not going to wear this because I'm going to Makombi. and already wakutongozvidzikisa. So I feel like sometimes we should really be confident and also try to push the law, because I feel like we're making this normal. You know, okay, I'm going to Makombi, so this is obviously going to happen, and it happens every day, and you're making it normal to you. So I feel like we should also try to push the law, because to be honest, if there are people who really go no report to the police about this, Vashoma. So I feel like we're getting too comfortable. We should also try to push the law.
There is law and emphasis on law. Okay, yes.
Okay, I'm with my sister here on pushing the law. Could you eat something? It happened to me sometime 2 years ago, per showground. I'm a karateka, I do martial arts. Kwandinoitira ikoko ndingangoti I can safely say zvakambondibatsira, it helped me kwete zvakanyanya pashowground apa pane zvaitika vandidhuma they were forcing me to get onto a bus yandanga ndisiri kuda zvakaitika ndakangokwanisa ngodheererawo ngotiregedza nongoshandisawo tactics dzangu ndikakwanisa kukurira one. But then hazvina kundibatsira still, because every time I go to showground there are some who were there who witnessed what happened, who are like now scared of me, but then zvakazo create my enemies akawanda zvokuti everybody will say dakumufixa, and I'm no longer safe. I don't know kuti vachauya vakawanda. And also where we train kwatinoita karate koko, you find kuti most of them vanenge vari mawindi acho, because vanenge vasina time yekuti especially maskati it won't be that busy, so that's when they will just uya vanoenda kudojo, okay, we call it dojo, kwavanoenda kunotrainerwa kwacho vowana kasession kavanoita for 1 hour, then they go back to the bus ring. So you find kuti pakaiswa mutemo, I feel kuti pakaiswa mutemo kana kuti if we encourage each other as women to do martial arts, still zvinovapusha ivo kuti vaitewo, and it won't be safe for us. So I really think kuti the best way ngapave nemutemo ngo restrict, because varimo ve martial arts vacho. Like right now ndachitotarisa nhasi, I think I spotted 4 of them per bus ring vandatoreader kuti ava vanhu ndeve martial arts just by looking at their knuckles chete, ndikatoziva kuti then kana zvakadai as a woman, and they were harassing women, unomuhina wakaita sei munhu akadaro. So I really feel kuti ngapangodhilwa nemutemo kana kuti president vakaisirwa pressure voice remunhukadzi rikanzwika, so that panoitwa mutemo ngori serious usina zvemartial arts or sports.
Taking the words of the women to the president, that's what she's saying. More contributions before we start rounding up.
Not support is such. Panyeta on a system, what she's on big bars, big booms, and go bad. Unofana consider environment, because honestly, Panin was a say airport, or come to you and go bad, and back bad, of what in no report. You go on school those and it and go back, some did say. Voku zote ndani ya witness etono mdaro iya no trust gundu zvakawe yoti guys mune anonipagwa ye direct ndibati over talk but iwe ndo wavarwa hapana kwa vichaenda. Saka I think major solution in my bus stops pane zvakamboitwa pana reason like vanga vakuita system yetishonisho kombi 1 ndio inoloda makombi 2 akwanwa akavhurwa do 1 yacho inosungwa, but pakazoitika situation yekuti paiswa varume of which varume vanenge vachizoitwa zvonzo tikasunga kombi atiwani makombi ekuenda kumba kozi vanenge vasina mari dzekombi. Saka sometimes vakaisa maladies echipurisa ipapo kuzvonizvo pakangoitika inviolence maladies ndio anokwanisa kumirira mwakadzi, because honestly ukaisa murumeka akada kubatsira nokudza zvozvo ndinozokwira neimani komba hakuna economy yakaoma, izvo zvangobhesa nekuti hanzi economy yakaoma. Saka amen.
All right, I think her point really, she was emphasizing around being firm. So her firmness and her being confident and her being assertive was to challenge the person. And you see, not necessarily to say it's a one-size-fits-all, and say, hey, my hips, my chi, and this ushati bata. But then around standing up for yourself, that's what I got from what she was saying. Here's was just an example. Then kuninga masupko as well. We're talking about kombi and it, but pane masupko. Mukatarisa kureba kunenge kaita ma lines emasupko aya. Ne pressure inenge iripo masupko anga no ambukira supko. Trukira supko. Ndindega. I'm the only one who has ever used a supko. Asata mushansa supko. Asati trukushansa. And the experiences with supquas as well. What do you think? Because public transport is what's affordable to most of them and to most of us and as women. And that's the economic situation here is the public transport and Zopco even more because they are cheaper than Kombi. And we want to make public transport safe for us as women. As kuda kuchika kumira pa queue as Zopco not here Kombi because neshiti ndinoso harassed. What do you think we can do around our use here public transport? What regulations do you think can be put in place around ensuring that public transport is safe for us to use any time of the day? Panangambo sumuza sinombo brataura. Anombo tara.
I don't want to respond to that for now.
Yeah, sure.
But I just wanted to comment on Nyaema Bridge. In the communities that we are, we know Kutipa Bridge, but there are men who are harassing women. And when we come home and we tell your brothers, at that bridge, we are being harassed, what are you doing to address that? I think as fathers, as brothers, as mothers, why can't we challenge those people who are sitting on the bridge and remove them so that we are free to walk, even when we are going to the wall, so that we feel free. And then I also want to add as school children, sometimes when a student is waiting for kombi yakachipa kana kuti kombi yadriver wanoziva, it's because as parents we are not giving our children enough kombi money. If you know that kombi is going for $5 and you give your girl child $3, really what do you expect her to go through? So I think as parents we also need to adequately provide for our female children so that they don't go through all the harassment that they end up going through. Thank you.
Okay, and as we think through, I'll take a few hands, then we'll round up because of time. And as we think through, this harassment is not only being faced by girls who are in school, it's also affecting every woman out there, no matter how old they are. This is something we're facing, all of us. So let's also think of solutions which will protect every woman, to make sure that every woman is safe. Yes, you can go.
Okay, I wanted to add on the transport system that we are saying pamazup kondo parikuanzoitika. I think the solution, we need to have more of these so that people don't push each other around like we are doing. Vanhu vari kuenda vachimhanya just because mazupko achona mashoma. We used to have those zupkos kudhara. I don't think the experiences we are having now, it's because mashoma, so we need to have more of those, and then pushane tichingonzwa mastories wobhu ari kuitika kuti vanhu vanozobatwa even wamuzupko macho. So the transport system has to be looked into.
Thank you. There are 2 hands. The last 2? Okay. The last 3 hands. Then we conclude.
Okay, ndakuedza kuti pane zvataurwa namyamo. Inini ndinokwira makombi panendo chikoro nepandodzoka, right? Inini bus stop yangu iri pakati, handikwiriri mutown, handikwiriri futi kuCovers because ndodza paEpworth high. But I see kuti mabuses achoka panobva mutown anouya akazara, ende panosvika pabus stop rangu haatombomira tometi arinotongopfuurira rotongoenda. In fact ndosara ndisina option but kutongokwira makombi. Pandodzoka futi masikati anobva futi Covers akazara apa ende ndida kuenda parinosvika pabus stop pangu haritombomira rinotongopfuurira. Saka ini ndinoona kuti vakatipawo mabuses edu evanechikoro like kana pari parank rimwe richienda kuzvikuru rechinodropa vana vanenge vemuroad vese zvikoro zvese zviri muroad vanoenda Covers kana kuti vanoenda uchitungwiza kana kuGlenview anyway kwavanenge vachienda voisa kana mabuses 1 vana vacho havanombonyanya kuwanda takanyatsozvitarisisa. Tinokwana wakaisa 1 bus rinotora vana vevanenge vachibva mutown roya richipika vamwe vese mumaroads kusvika vasvika Covers munhu achidzurukira pabus stop yake. I think kuti izvozvo zvingatinoti mabuses acho anokwirwa nevabereka tikadawo zvitarisisa hatitombokwanise kumakwira because paanozobva anenge atozara ende haritombomire futi pabus stop pako rinotongopfuurira rakatoona pane mwana wechikoro rinotongopfuurira rotongoenda.
She had a hand. I guess she's now the last speaker. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon. Hello. I'm from East Africa, so I'll say Masquera say. Yeah. Okay, great. First of all, congratulations on this topic. It's so good to see women talking about our own issues. I'll just share, back home, I'm from Tanzania. And back home, we also have, in Dar es Salaam, we have transport systems where they even brought sophisticated, quote unquote, faster modes of buses, but then people would be standing. So in the morning, you'd be squashed. And cases of, just like, I've had a case where a guy was literally just rubbing on, and you're like, what's happening? And you're like, what is happening? But no, it's quite odd. But I was wanting to say, sort of echoing something that was spoken up a little earlier when I got in terms of educating, reassessing how we look at sexuality. When I heard of this young niece being told that kissing is bad, I think I don't know about you guys, but I was also brought up where to have a boyfriend up until I'm 20, you cannot even speak that to your mother. But the truth is, puberty does happen. And so I wonder, wouldn't it help a little? Because if we look at our histories, we used to wear barks, we were naked. I think rape cases must have been very little. Is this mentality where we say no, where we push away that conversation, where we say no, 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 and women speak where we are rigid, doesn't it taunt the men to keep poking? Because in patriarchy, men have been given more freedoms. When a man comes back and when a boy child comes back, he's 17 and he's gotten a girl pregnant, he won't get as much lash as a 17-year-old girl coming home when she's pregnant. And what does that mean? It means sex for women has been made vulgar. It's something taboo. But I think there is something there in even how to confront men, how to bring men into the conversation. Are we teaching sex with no? Can we be more open? Can the conversation get a little bit more open? But yeah, with regards to transport and ideas, I think honestly, it's an economic issue. But I would start with say they should not. Kenya has done it. In Kenya, you'd get into a matatu, into a kombi, what you call kombi. There they call it matatu. Back home we call it dala dala. But when you get into a car, you get a seat, and there's no standing. So that fact that no matter what, and students in my country, they get subsidized fees into getting, in fact, sometimes it's free. But when you get in Kenya, when you get on your seat, it's the driver will be fined. But then I guess that's economics. Do we have enough kombis? But that's enough.
All right, thank you so much. And I think what you raised then, for me, explains why a lot of people, when they are harassed, they don't seek any service, because we have been brought up in such a way that whatever happens to me as a woman is my fault. So when I'm harassed, then I'll think, maybe it's because of the way I'm dressed. Maybe the way I was walking, I was shaking my bum too much. Like you entirely then put the blame back on yourself, yet you're the victim. So thank you for raising that. So thank you so much for coming through, and thank you to those who are listening in on Capitalk 100.4 FM. And I think to just sum up, most of the ideas that we bring up were around, firstly, having programs that will empower girls and women around maybe their rights, because that's where it starts. Be having confidence in yourself, knowing your body, knowing what the law says, what's there to protect you as the starting point. Because when you do face it, at times being firm as raised by one person might also help. And maybe just speaking out against it and reporting, however the police would take it, but then reporting as a starting point. So maybe having programs that will keep empowering us as girls and women around our rights, knowing our bodies. And then some of the suggestions that we came up with was around policy, that in as much as there are policies which are there, the first thing is some of them are not being implemented. And those which are there, they have gaps. She spoke about the indecent assault, where you are then told to bring witnesses. And people are giving examples, how do I bring witnesses when I've been harassed in a public space, in a combi, where I actually might not know people were there. So maybe having a policy environment that will ensure that as women and girls, we are safe wherever we move. The policy should be clear, and having also a responsive justice system. The police should take responsibility, because honestly, they know. apana mapurisa asingazoti mawindi ane mbiri yekuvhurumutsa madzimai. They know. They just want to take responsibility. They don't want to implement the law. They don't want to hold those touts accountable. So having the police respond to these incidences of harassment, and if one person is made an example, for me, I feel it will go a long way towards maybe teaching a lesson to those mawindi vari kuEpworth. And today we're talking about Epworth. The play was around Epworth, but Epworth is kuwadzana, it's kubudiriro, it's Bulawayo, it's everywhere in Zimbabwe. It's happening everywhere. So having a responsive police department that ensure that as women and girls we're safe. Then also the public transport. People suggested that there should be more buses, more combis, so that the transport system is not congested, such that we'll be harassed in those public transport, because that's what's affordable and accessible to most of us. So again, thank you so much for your words. It was an interesting conversation, and unfortunately we had limited time. Hence the need, as you said, for us to meet more as women, and also maybe create spaces to start holding the perpetrators, the men, accountable around their actions. So thank you so much. Those who are listening in, those who are still in, please come in. The Women, Wine and Words Festival is still ongoing. There are more interesting conversations around our experiences as women that will continue going on today and tomorrow. So please come and join. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Another round of applause for Ottilia. Okay, I would like to thank you once again for taking part in this discussion. At this point, may I kindly asking everyone anga ari pano during the discussion to follow me. By the way, my name is Eunice Tower. Just follow me where I'm leading you. Just follow me. Just trust me. Follow me. Don't ask many questions, just follow me. For those who are still seated, please follow me.